Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. We are here with another episode of Haikyu, episode 16. Our match with Jozenji continues the party school. I mean, as I've said, I think this is going to be pretty much an easy win for us. We've taken the first set, and Daichi has taught them the meaning of simplicity and fortitude. Their tactic seems a bit interesting. As I mentioned in the last reaction, I don't think it's suitable for a team sport. They give us a bit of a backstory on the team and how they practice one-on-one, and pretty much just allows each player on the court to just do their own thing and try to score a point. I think that can maybe overwhelm some inexperienced teams, but against more experienced and more well-equipped teams, I don't see that being an effective strategy. Y'all might need a new coach. Sorry, you need a new coach. I think we've taken control of the match so far, and I can see this going with Karasuno taking 2 straight sets. So this is just another step onto the real competition, which I think maybe I don't know if we will face Datatech. I forget whether we're in the same brackets as them, but I know we are with Seijo. So this is just one step closer to that rematch. So I'm excited. Let's check it out. Okay. They are unpredictable. I give them that. Ah, that was good. So even they didn't know that was gonna happen. Nice. Alright, Suki. I mean, he has to learn to think on his own on the court, He has to be flexible. Alright, so they're actually thinking now. That I can see being a bit more effective. Yeah. That's pretty much how everyone decides to counter that free quick. So she's underscores why it's so important for Hinata to learn to do other things aside from that. Right. First to 20 points. But he could use that opportunity to do a feint, if he feels they're gonna try to block him. Oh. He's learning. Good. Don't do the same thing again. They're gonna block that. All I need to do is to slow it down. Time to switch it up, Hinata. He's not talking about the fingertips thing, right? Oh, okay. Yeah. So that's what I was saying. If you think they're gonna go for the block, it's easier to do that. Okay, they failed the first time. This time, they're gonna fail still, I think. Even if they get it over the net, it's just gonna get blocked. I don't think that's something you can just wing it. Got through. Yeah, it's out. That cost them the match? Why would you do that? No! Oh my god. I'm sorry, this team is slightly ridiculous. That was your choice. Why would you choose to make a play like that for the match point? I mean, it seems they have good foundation, but the idea that you can win a team sport by just ignoring the team, that just doesn't sound very effective to me. And this is their assistant manager's last match, right? She was the last of the 30 years to stay on, so... Yep. Oh, that's a replacement. Oh man. Now when she just joined, she's the Yachi. Oh, speaking of which. Oh, they're going up against Datetek? Yes! This is what I'm waiting for. He gave Hinata a direct challenge this time. Last time it was Asahi. I mean, it's not that hard to stop Hinata at this point. At least the free quick, it's not that hard to stop. Alright. Where are these guys? Also won two straight sets. Why is that so surprising that his family is here? But focus on the match ahead, guys. Focus on the match ahead. Wakutani. Alright. We've never heard of this school before, so this will be an interesting match. And their third years are actually stuck around. The dad at the game. His family is the only ones there cheering, actually. I mean, that's commendable. The other schools have like a huge cheering squad. Interesting. Coach is actually worried about this one. Yeah, this might be a pretty good match. Psycho! I'll take her over the guy that's still at work. Okay. First point. Good start. Good start. And surely they must have known about it by now. I think the moment they faced off against Seijo and did so well in the last matchup, most schools would have put them on their radar and been researching them. Yeah, like Seijo. We haven't had a serious match with Nekomas yet, so it's hard to kind of gauge how well we do against them.
強豪校に警戒されてんじゃないか？きっとお前の研究とかしてるんだぞ。
It's fired up.
いやー、俺たちかすむな。
さすが首相。選手のやる気のツボを心得ている。
影山ないさ
ー。Good liberal.
パイナップルヘッド、後ろから回り込んでる。
Pineapple head. Nice.
あれが枠南の武器であるコンビネーション。平均して身長はあまり高くなくても。
Combination attacks.
常に
This I like.
チームですね。
ああ、だが枠南の武器はそれだけじゃない。
The coach seems to be worried about something else that we're not seeing. Yeah, he's right. They're pretty well balanced, you know. They're good at receiving. Spikes are pretty good so far. Oh. Ah, a wipe. I guess it's not just Hinata.
今の県内ではもしかしたらプレースタイルが一番似てるのかもな。かつての小さな巨人。
Let's go! Another little giant. I'm here for it. I don't think Hinata is. I gather this guy's a second year. I don't think Hinata is as good. So we may have some trouble here. And because he plays similarly, he'll know what to expect.
中島がどのくらい見えてるのかはわかんねえけど、日向みたいに細かい場所を狙うっつうより、工夫してんのは角度じゃねえかな。
Okay, so slightly different.
月島、顔に出てる。まあ、ブロッカーからしたら普通に嫌ですよね。
Are troublesome. Yeah. Ah. I don't think we can rely on the quick too much for this team. Otherwise, we're gonna keep trying to outdo them, and I don't think we can in that department.
日向に対してとりあえず一人コミットでブロック飛ばすけど深追いはしないってスタンスかな。
Yeah, they're playing intelligently.
対応しつつ止めるというよりはコースを絞ってレシーブしやすい。
Yeah, the other team had a way to stop him, and now this team has another way. It's the free kick. It's just not going to be an easy thing to rely on. It's all going to be on what Hinata can do once he's in the air. And using the entire team as well. See, give it to Asahi this time. Yeah. Yeah. Make use of the entire team. Now when Suki's back on the court, they'll be able to do a lot more with their blocks. Yeah, because you're guarding Hinata. Ah, got a lead. This is the Tanaka of their group. It's interesting because I'm not sure if this guy is the ace or if he's their captain. It seems like he's their captain. Takeru, is he their captain? It's just not often. I'm trying to recall what other school we've seen where the captain is actually a wing spiker. You know,
前回が遊び対
I don't
決
think
な
we
ら
see that
今
often.
回は首相対決ってとこが。
今日一番の長いラリーだな。取った方に流れが来るぞ。
Yeah, first to 20 points. Come on. Ah, he did it again. Another wipe. Oh, oh no. I got the point, but they collided, right? Daichi.
大地さん。
Oh man! As soon as the coach said this is a match, against captain against captain, and this now happens. I've been expecting it to happen, just not this soon. I figured perhaps once they progress somewhere, a bit later into the tournament, there would be an injury because they haven't had any serious injuries, and they kind of foreshadowed that. I think one episode ago with Suki playing against some adults with his brother and injuring his finger. So I was expecting it to happen at some point in the tournament. I didn't think it would be this soon, and I did not think it would be Daichi because they need Daichi, and they've set that up real well this episode because they were talking about the team and the coach saying that they need to keep their composure, and Daichi saying he can manage them and all of that. And yeah, then this doesn't happen. So without Daichi's guidance on the court, and he's been doing a bit since this match has started, what happens? Someone will need to step in to fill those shoes. I don't know who that's going to be. That looks, hopefully it's nothing serious, but I don't think they would do an injury and not have Daichi having to be removed from the court, at least temporarily. So I think he'll be fine, but he doesn't look like he's moving at the moment, which is not great. That's definitely going to be, he's definitely going to have to be removed from the court until he's, they're comfortable that he's well enough to actually continue playing. So that's a tough one. That is a tough one. The other team that we're facing, man, they're something else. I'm trying to remember if we were actually told about them. I think when they were showing us all the different schools, I remember seeing the uniform, I think, but I don't think they mentioned their school. But the coach seemed to be very well aware of them, and I think they mentioned that they're one of the big name schools. But we've never really heard much about them before. They said most of their third years have actually stayed on, so and it shows. And I do wonder now if that most of the strong schools that we have encountered are the ones where the third years have actually stayed on. And just thinking about it from a sporting perspective, considering how quickly that rotation happens, students having to move on to focus on their academics, it's got to be very difficult to maintain a good team within volleyball, at least based on how the Japanese academic structure is, and they're needing to focus on academics after, once they get to third year. So it's very interesting. It's very interesting. I'd probably off air read up a bit more on how that actually works. But for the sport itself, I can see that being a bit volatile because you can't maintain the strength of the school for very long. You either have to say all in and we're going to go to nationals and we're going to win this and risk it all, because you are risking something, taking attention away from your studies to focus on this. So it's a huge ask, but it's very interesting. Takeru, who's this, apparently, the closest to the little giant in the prefecture at the moment. Again, seeing him do wipes, but the coach said he's doing it using angles and not so much focusing on, specific areas like Hinata does. So they're doing the same thing, just taking a different approach to doing it. And I mean, we actually haven't seen a whole lot about how the little giant actually plays. So this is some insight into how he actually did while he was a part of Karasuno. I've been wondering for quite some time whether we'll actually get to see the little giant, but I'm still holding on to hope that maybe we do. I don't think we need to be honest. I don't think we need to. It'd be a bit of just fan service for my sake. But it would be a dream come true for Hinata if he was able to actually meet him. But Hinata does need to devise his own way to play, and never has that been more apparent than the past two matches that we've actually had. When they faced off against Josenji in the last match, Josenji quickly devised a way to stop Hinata's free quick. Don't try to block it, just receive it. And it's not the first school that we've actually seen do that. And then this, here again for this school, they've devised another way, which is just straight up just put one blocker on him, and limit the range, and so you can actually receive his spikes a lot easier. So the reliance on that free quick, which I've mentioned a few times that I think is a concern for the team. We can't over rely on that too much. We need to equip Hinata as best as possible with other tools so that he can function, as the decoy, but also, I know Hinata is a wing spiker, but he's a middle blocker. But I think if we look at the amount of points that Hinata actually scores, it's odd that he's a middle blocker, but I think he scores more points than the actual wing spiker. I could be wrong about that. I don't have actual numbers to look at, and it may just be that the enemy is focusing on him so much that we're not seeing the other points that are actually being scored. So that's a possibility, but it does appear that he does score quite a fair bit of points. So we need to ensure that he has the tools that he needs to continue doing that without being too reliant on this one technique. Because as you can see, the more we face off against experienced players, that free quick becomes less and less, effective going forward. So it's still something that can catch the teams off guard. But I can't imagine this earlier on in the tournament, it's getting blocked. When we get further in against stronger opponents, I don't see that working out too well. I just don't. I don't see it working out too well. But it is still a good tool to actually have on your belt. He just needs more tools, So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, it's been a very, very interesting match so far. Actually, I thought we were going to face off against Date Tech, because of the challenge that Aoni posed to Hinata, saying I'll stop you tomorrow. But against I guess Wakunan is first, and then we'll face off against Date Tech afterwards. That's the matchup I'm looking forward to the most, outside of Seijo, of course. I imagine Date Tech is going to lose. I would have preferred if they lost to someone else, actually, because we already beat them, and I like the team. I like Aoni. I don't want them to, I don't want to kill their spirit by losing to Karasuno a second time, but that it happens, it happens, unfortunately. But yeah, that was a fantastic match, guys. Things are really starting to get interesting as we explore other dynamics of sports, like injuries and stuff like that. So it's as the coach said, teams like this that work intelligently are a bad matchup for, or the team struggles with those teams. This is one, Seijo is one, so it's going to be quite interesting to see how we handle this, especially without our captain. All right, remember to post down below, guys. Let me know what your thoughts are on this episode. Hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you for the next one.